Okay, good morning. I think it's morning. Yep, it's barely morning. I've been working. I got an HP Reverb G2, and I was working on the streaming that on my on X-Plane 11, and now that Microsoft Flight Sim come out with VR, I've been trying to find if I can find a method where I can basically use kind of the same tools that I use when I stream X-Plane 11 VR. If I can use the same or similar tools to what I do with X-Plane in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and so far I think I've got that pulled off. So so the tools that I'm using is the one thing is that I'm using Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR. I run that first, so that brings up the Windows Mixed Reality portal, and also brings up Steam VR, and so I'm using that, and then I'm also using OVR Toolkit. So because I can use basically Steam VR, I can use OVR Toolkit. So OVR Toolkit allows me, or Steam VR allows me to have like FPS VR and OVR Toolkit. The thing that OVR Toolkit brings me is it allows me to have my Chatty. I can bring Chatty into my into the VR cockpit. And the other thing I brought along is because Microsoft Flight Simulator, when VR got released, it got released with no controllers, no controller support. So since it doesn't have controller support, I needed to find a method where I can kind of get around that little problem. And when I was working with, before, when I was using Microsoft Flight Simulator, I was using TrackIR, and I had kind of worked with VoiceAttack. So I went ahead and I used Virtual Voyagers profile as a starting point, and then I modified that so that any of the missing features that weren't in his original profile would work in VR. So for example, I can do VR Toolkit toolbar, VR toolbar. So that brings up the toolbar in front of me, and VR toolbar, and I can bring it, take it away from me. So the other thing I can do is I can say cockpit. So that brings me out behind the airplane, and so I can look around. And I don't really plan on doing any flying today. I plan on just doing a stream of chatting and just showing off the tools that I can use. Now on the Windows Mixed Reality controllers, I have one of them. I have them in my hands right now. So if I click on the button kind of to the right of the right controller, the furthest right, if I click on that, that's not where I wanted to go. Crap. So this isn't going to go well. So basically that's going to shut down Steam. Yep, wrong button. Let's see. Close that. Let's see if that button will work. Nope. Nope, that was a fail. So let's see if we can bring up desktop. So what's my desktop look like? Okay, so trying to see what I'm browsing to right now. Alrighty, so so this is not what I planned on doing. So what happened, but it's a good experience. What happened is if you can see, I pushed on the Windows button. If you do that while you're in Microsoft Flight Simulator, basically what it does is if you do that while you're in Microsoft Flight Simulator while you're running SteamVR, it closes down SteamVR. So since I'm still streaming, that's kind of what I was looking at, because I'm let me get over here. So I'm using I'm using the Windows Mixed Reality Portal, so that's what I'm streaming. So, and that actually looks pretty good. So, not sure how the volume's coming off, but what it also means is that my my chat window in VR isn't here, but it is on the desktop. So, let me back up a little bit here. Go over here. We'll see if I can do this. So I'm going to try to start up Windows Mixed Reality Portal. I don't think this will work. Well, it did get me to the portal. I go to the desktop. Let's see how it's going. All right, so I have that working. What I'm not sure is we'll see if I can get Microsoft Flight Simulator to start again, but I don't think it'll work, but this is all a test anyhow, so. That didn't go well. I'm going to try to start up Microsoft Flight Simulator. What I'm not sure is how I started it up. If when I go into VR, if it may actually do exactly the same thing. But we'll just wait for that to start up, and we'll kind of go from there. Must have clicked on it twice. Enable VR. Center view. Escape. Cancel. So I'm back in Steam VR. Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR. And just trying to get me back where I was. And try not to hit the wrong button again. Center view. Yeah, let's see if I can get chat again. Okay, we got chat again, and frames aren't looking too bad now. Man, they were looking really terrible earlier, so I'm not sure what that was all about. But let me make sure I get the right button this time. Yes. Back to desktop. Just making sure that I've got everything working. Yep, everything looks good to me. Cool. Back in the game, return the game. So like I said, so I'm using Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR. And what that allows me to do is use my Steam VR tools. And so far it's working okay. Like I said, on the, let me get back out of here so you can see. So over here next to the A button, there's a Windows button. If I hit that, that blows me like right out of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it basically closes down Steam VR. So it's something I have to learn not to do. So down in the desktop. So this one right here, Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR. That's basically how I start it up. So I click on that. It brings up the Windows Mixed Reality portal. And it brings up Steam VR. And once I get that up and running, then I start up OVR Toolkit. And that allows me to bring this chatty window into my VR headset. So I'm just trying to look at everything I've got here, make sure everything is working right. Yeah, looking pretty good. So that's basically, so once I have that, I need to put myself an icon on the desktop for Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I can just click on that. Right now I'm going to the menu system, and it's just more cumbersome than it needs to be. So, and this view here, this is part of Steam VR. So basically I've clicked on this button here. That got me, after I have hit on the button over on the, away from the A button, there's a button that's called the hamburger button. It's a menu button. That basically will allow me to get here. So now I'm going to go back in the game and return the game. And so I have two windows that OVR Toolkit allows me to, with OVR Toolkit, I can bring in probably as many windows as what I want. I haven't seen a tremendous impact on performance, but something I am seeing right now is I'm running a 2080 Ti, and for some reason my GPU memory is 10.1, and I have 11 gigs available. So something's a little wrong here. I'm not so sure what it is, but like I said, this is I'm just doing a test. I'm just trying to bring, and I hadn't paid attention to looking at that before, but that seems very wrong to me. If that's a normal thing, having a 3090 would probably be a very good idea. But I'm not so sure why that's true. So, and so we'll heard a ring, and I believe it was a follow. So if it was, thank you so much. And now for some reason, I'm not so sure, but you can see like that all of a sudden my GPU, the CPU, I mean, it's just turned red, and I don't know why that's true. I have no idea. Oh no. And so I'm kind of a little bit, I don't understand why that's true. I'm going to jump out of VR and then come back in and see if that GPU memory changes any. So I have a whole bunch of commands on my that I can use with VoiceAttack, and so one of them is enable VR. Enable VR. So basically, this takes me out of the Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I'm basically in Steam VR, and I just want to look and see what the GPU memory is doing now. 9.6. We'll go back in and see what we get. Enable VR. Center view. It's a little jittery. Not sure why. Center view. Yeah, so the GPU RAM went down, but that is really weird. So it's all like in the red here because my the frame time went up, and well, when I look at how much of my CPU is being used, it's like 52%. It's not being used that much, so that's all kind of a little weird. So the other thing I can do is actually change my views. So if I say cockpit, if I continue to talk and say a command, I have to wait, give it a little pause for VoiceAttack to go, oh, I'm ready to listen to you. Cockpit. So it allows you to go back and forth, and I'm not quite centered on my desk here, so center view, and so the other thing I can do is I can actually adjust myself in the actual cockpit. So move backward, move up, move down, move forward. So we don't have controller support. So because of that, I decided I wanted to add I'll add a bunch of voice commands that basically will emulate the lack of controller support. So I'll go ahead and I'll try to see if I can get the plane started up. So beacon light on. Beacon lights. Master battery.
Adjusting master battery.
Fuel valve. And for some reason in the in this version of the Garmin, the fuel valve button, get the mouse out here. This button, the mouse is really picky. That button in this version of the Cessna, you don't see it move in and out. On the previous version, before they released VR, you could see it move in and out, so you can tell. In this case, I can't tell, but I saw, when I made the command, I saw it move. So, so I got the battery on. Mixture is in. Magneto start. Master alternator.
Setting alternator.
Avionics on.
Erie Ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf requesting pushback.
And I don't.
November 256 Bravo Golf pushback request accepted.
And I don't want to push back, so ATC. ATC. Set 1.
Erie Ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf requesting the end of pushback.
ATC.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf request to end pushback received.
Set altimeter.
Erie Ground Cessna November 256
Setting altimeter
Bravo
to
Golf
see
with
level
Charlie
pressure.
request taxi for takeoff departing straight out. Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf taxi to and hold short of runway 24 using taxiway Charlie cross runway 20 Bravo.
Taxi
Contact
lights.
tower on 118.1 when ready. Taxiing hold short runway 24 via taxiway Charlie cross runway 20 Bravo Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
So, I tried to toggle the yoke visibility off, and for some reason the mouse got messed up here. And also, I have this annoying thing in front of my wherever I move my headset. I have this thing that I think it's pointing to the tower, and it's terribly annoying. There's evidently there's a mod where I can to get rid of that, and I absolutely need to do that. But for some reason, my mouse got all a bit well, it disappeared. Let me see something. VR toolbar. VR toolbar. Yeah, for some reason there's some kind of let me check one thing. So let me go over here to the desktop. Okay, so Microsoft Flight Simulator is minimized. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but we'll see if it is. Yes. So, for some reason, and I don't know why, my Microsoft Flight Simulator on the desktop, let me get back over here, was minimized. And because it was minimized, it had some influence over the mouse interaction with the cockpit. Is this because I'm using touch controllers and that's had something to do with it? I don't know. but it certainly did. So let me go back and see if the mouse works now. Nope, not so sure. All of this is a very much a work in progress. Well, this is kind of odd because for some reason my touch controllers are showing up in the cockpit now, and I'm not so sure why that's true. Because earlier they weren't being shown here. So let me turn that off. Very odd. So basically, by using voice commands, I was able to turn the master battery on, turn the turn the magneto to get it to start. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
And once again, somehow I'm over in the mixed reality portal, and I'm not sure how I got here. So this is quite odd. This is quite odd. So needless to say, there's a few bugs. So a lot of things work, but there are a few things that are pretty fragile. So let's start up Microsoft Flight Simulator again. Oh well. Certainly need to figure out what allowed me to get out of Flight Simulator. Because I don't remember hitting the Windows button that time, so. The other time I absolutely did, but this time, nope, that didn't happen, so. Enable VR. Center view. Yeah, I'm calling this stream kind of like a proof of concept. And a few pitfalls, but in general, it looks like something I could fly, so. So let me see if I can yeah. So we got whoops, close this. Yeah, because this is OVR Toolkit, so this is basically how I can bring basically items from my desktop. I can bring it in here. So even though I can't see my touch controllers in the cockpit right now, I am not sure why that's true, but I just can't. So if I go down here and highlight, there's like a little blue dot, and if I highlight that, it says spawn new window. And if I click on the trigger, that'll spawn a new window. So the window that it spawned is basically the desktop. So if I put that little dot on there and then hold the grip button, now I can move this around. So basically I just brought my whole cockpit, my whole desktop into VR. Now if I go over here to Windows settings, you can see where my opacity is set at 63.88, so I can change that. So you can see that this window here, it's highlighted. It's got yellow around it. So if I change the opacity, I can slide the opacity. So now I can make it solid. So I can't see through it. So if I go to the other extreme, I can make it completely transparent where I can barely read it. So it allows you to move, adjust the capacity. It also allows you to make it bigger or smaller. So if I want to make this larger, click on this button, it's larger, and make it smaller. So basically any window that's on your desktop, it allows you to bring that into the VR cockpit. I've been using this particular program, OVR Toolkit, for almost a year. I started streaming in VR on X-Plane around January of this year. So almost a year I've been using this, because I was looking for a program where, how do I bring my my chat into VR, because to me, interacting with chat is kind of the most important. The most important part of streaming is chat. It just is that important to me. So once I found this program, that's what I've been using on X-Plane 11. When Microsoft Flight Simulator released VR, I went, okay, well, can I do the same thing? Took me a little while to figure it out that I could. It's a little quirky, but I will work through that. So, but this stream is more of a proof of concept. This will work, can work, and it allows you to do a whole bunch of things. Not only just a chat window, but you could bring in like a little nav map. I mean, you could bring in a lot of things, and it basically what I'm going to go ahead and close this for right now. Okay, I'm going to put this guy. I'll put him up here. Or actually, I want him actually right here. So how I do that is I start up this Windows Mixed Reality for Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR. That's a Steam VR app. And what that allows you to do, it allows you that when you then start up Microsoft Flight Simulator, it allows so that shows up in the portal, and so it allows you to use the Steam VR tools it allows you to use the Steam VR tools, you know. So so that helps quite a bit. So okay, so interesting. So let's see, I want to get rid of this window, so go ahead and I'll open this up. And so that's highlighted, so if I click on close, that closes it. So yeah, so I've mapped all the move commands so that I can say move left, move right, so that you can position yourself in the cockpit wherever you find to be correct. So also like mixture lean. So that went ahead and that pulled out my mixture rich. So for instance, I'll start the engine up. I gotta check one thing because I come back in here. I want to see if my fuel valve is open. Fuel valve. Master battery.
Setting master battery.
Magneto start. Master alternator.
Adjusting alternator.
Avionics on. So if I wanted to at the end of a flight, so I would normally say I get rid of the yokes. So it makes it a little more visible. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
So normally at the end of a flight you would turn the avionics on. So avionics on. didn't like me to say avionics twice. Avionics on. Avionics on. Thanks for the follow. Oh. I have two commands. Avionics off. Avionics off. And all the voice command, it works quite well. But it is looking for specific words. And if you don't give it those specific words, it will it will just sit there and do nothing. So now that I have the avionics on, so I can just say mixture lean. Mixture lean. So basically, it leaned out the engine, made it stop. Master battery.
Adjusting master battery.
Master alternator.
Setting alternator.
Magneto off. Magneto off.
Setting magnetos to off.
For some reason, the first time I do that, it doesn't work. I've got to look at that command and figure out why. If I do it again, it will work. Magnetos off.
Setting magnetos to off.
Doesn't make any sense to me, but I've done this more than once, and it does it exactly the same way both times. So what else do I have? Let me. Whoops, where are you going? I didn't tell him to. That's kind of cool. HTC. So I'm not really supposed to be getting pushed unless I have the battery on. So, master battery. Master battery.
Setting master battery.
Avionics on. ATC. Set 1.
Erie Ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf requesting the end of pushback.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf request to end pushback received.
ATC. Well, that was a little weird because normally the HTC is not supposed to work if you don't have the power on. I had it on earlier, but I'm sitting there. I'm like, what's going on? I look and I'm going like, I'm getting pushed back, and I really didn't want that. So, avionics off. Master battery.
Adjusting master battery.
So, what did I want to do? Oh, okay. Master battery. Master battery.
Setting master battery.
Flaps down. Flaps down. Flaps down. Cockpit. Flaps up. Flaps up. Flaps up. Cockpit. Master battery.
Adjusting master battery.
So I'm not set altimeter.
Altimeter adjusted to sea level.
So so what I've tried to do is, to the best of my ability, to anything I normally would when I fly in X-plane, I fly with this Reverb G2, HP Reverb G2. But I have my Valve Index controllers working with that. I've tried to get that to work with Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I'm not. It's not happy at all. Not sure what the issue is. So right now I'm using the Windows Mixed Reality controllers. What I like about the Index controllers is I can keep them on my hands, and I normally fly with a yoke and a set of pedals. Right now I'm not, because I didn't plan on flying. But but with my Valve Index controllers, I can have them connected to my, so they're basically strapped to my hands. So I can go ahead and I can move the yoke. I can go ahead and I can reach down. I can move the trim wheel. I can do all that stuff with my touch controllers. And I've been, since I got my Index, which I probably had my Index for about 6 months. So I've got so used to that. So when I come over to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and then they didn't have controllers. I'm like so used to like flying in VR that way that it was a pretty serious disappointment. I mean, I just assumed that if you're going to say you have VR support and VR headsets come with controllers, that's part of VR support. But sadly, right now it's not. Excuse me. But hopefully it won't be too long, and they go ahead and they bring the support. Getting the Index controllers to work with the G2 is you got to do a bit of gymnastics to make that happen. But once it's done, it works quite well. So I kind of hope in the end that I'll be able to do that. So I basically can get rid of any of my other hardware, because I have like a SATEC trim wheel. I have a SATEC multi-panel radio panel. Hopefully I can get rid of all of that, and I'll just fly with the yoke and the pedals and use touch controllers for everything else in the cockpit. So that's kind of my goal. Hey, these are early days. The fact that have VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator is a very big step, and so where do I want to go? I don't know quite yet. But yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the point of the stream right now, is just to kind of show what's possible, and that's kind of the biggest thing of the whole stream. It's exactly that. This is what is possible currently, and I want to just thank Virtual Aviator for his initial profile for VoiceAttack. That helped tremendously for me to get a starting point, and then I just added some VR only stuff. I see that he released an update to the profile that I'm using a few days ago that I didn't see it. So, but and he added in some VR stuff, but this is kind of like what's possible. So the other way, there's like two different ways to bring like a chat window in. There's some other people that are using Windows Mixed Reality stuff, and being that I'm completely new to Windows Mixed Reality, I chose this approach because I know the tools, and if I can use the same tools for X-Plane as Microsoft Flight Simulator, that just seemed like a better idea to me. And I always have to have this guy with me, and I'm not so sure what's going on. For some reason, like I'll get, So it'll be kind of interesting because I'm not quite ready to fly yet. I've got to get my put my yoke together and that kind of stuff. But I'm just really curious why it does this. That and the frames aren't. From what I'm hearing, like, there's people like flying with frames of like 30, and they think it's okay. So my general frames are okay. The CPU looks like trash, but I'll be kind of curious what flying would look like. But I see the GPU memory is up again, so it's up around 10. So I kind of wonder like I need to investigate why that is true. So I'm just going to really quickly like jump out of VR, enable VR. And whenever I come here in Steam, everything is like perfect. I mean, but it's not doing anything. So we'll go back in, enable VR. Enable VR. Center view. Center view. I had it centered to view when I was looking down. It didn't look too good. No. It doesn't appear to be related to the amount of VRAM used. Not sure what it is. Not sure what it is. But, yeah. That's quite odd. But, yeah, this overlay here, this FPS VR, it only works with Steam. So, with Steam VR. And, for trying to troubleshoot things, it's the best. I mean, it helps a lot. So then, and that's why I always want to have it available where I can figure out, you know, I mean, it does a whole bunch of stuff, but it kind of allows you to kind of know what's going on, and if you're having trouble, you know, where to look, you know. So, and it's kind of interesting because that's not completely red. It's got some yellows in there, so. Go back over here. Desktop. Just do not understand what's going on. Because I thought it might have been related to the fact that, yeah, that's what minimizes it. That's kind of interesting. So if I take my touch controller and touch on that window, it minimizes it. Does it do it with all of them? No. No, only Microsoft Flight Simulator. That is odd. And only in the middle. That's really weird. That's too crazy. But it has nothing to do with the, or it doesn't appear like it does have anything to do with the frame time at all. So the other thing I can do is I can go over to controller bindings, and I don't think these are set up. Nope. Because Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't support controllers. I'm kind of thinking that's why this says active controller, HP motion controller. This is what I see when I'm in X-Plane. But here it's saying loading current bindings, and it's not loading it because I don't think there's not a binding for it because it doesn't support controllers. So we'll go ahead and we'll close this. And we'll go back here. Back to the game. So I think for right now. Oh, the other thing I did is I can I also have the trim, so see if I can get in close enough. Trim down. Trim down. So basically there is, I can't remember what the buttons are that are mapped to the trim wheel, but I have them so that I'm holding the button down, whatever that button is, for a second. And so basically it moves it, the little nubbies there, it moves it half a nubby. So trim up. Trim up. Trim up. So I haven't flown with this yet. So what I'm not sure is that enough trim movement to make a difference? Like I said, when I fly an X-plane, I move my trim wheel with a touch controller. And I don't think about it. I basically pull the yoke to where I need it. And then basically I trim till I can release my yoke pressure. And that's how I set my trim. So I'm not sure if that is enough movement to make it work right. But, and actually, I wonder if I can see that. Cockpit. Trim up. Trim up. Trim up. I can't see it. I'm not close enough. And I'm not so sure how to get closer to that, to the trim tab. I don't have those kind of commands mapped. So what I wanted to see is the trim tab actually moving when I'm doing this. I can clearly see the trim tab, so if it's modeled, I would think that I would actually see that. So, and the and out here sitting kind of in the middle of nowhere, the frames were looking quite a bit better. So cockpit. So there's something related to the cockpit, so that's kind of interesting that the cockpit. Yeah, so that changed. So there's like a whole bunch of yellow and like red stripes in it. That's kind of that's entertaining. I'm not sure what that means, but same thing. Just kind of learning. Cockpit. Awesome. Okie dokie. Yep, I think. Just trying to think if I conveyed pretty much what I wanted to get across. I think I did. Kind of a rambling stream, but that's kind of the way sometimes I roll. But everything, yeah. Yeah, so all this stuff here is all related to Steam VR. So I can take this and I can make it pretty big. What's that, 150? Or I can make it down here to 100%. So let me go back in the game. Turn. But I can also like do the same thing with OVR Toolkit. So I'm going to head and say spawn new window. But the advantage of this is that I can basically pick windows. So I can go ahead and pick whichever. So if say switch window, so if I click on this, so then it lists all of the windows that I can actually pick. So Microsoft Flight Simulator, Steam VR, VoiceAttack, Chatty, Firefox, Mixed Reality Profile, OBS. So I can pick whichever one I want and fill this window up. And so right now, let's close that one out. I don't need it. Yep. I think I'll call this a wrap. And yeah. I think everything I went over pretty much whatever I wanted to, and so I'll go ahead and I'll watch the VOD and see if it looked okay, and if it does look okay, I'll probably shove it up over on my YouTube channel, and if it doesn't, I'll try again. But I wanted to watch it and see like just how the voice and all that stuff is going. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and end the stream, and to anybody that was watching now or watches in the future, have a great day, and hopefully I passed a little bit of information on to how I've managed to get a stream chat into VR for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and also how to use voice commands to basically until we get VR controllers, until we get them into Microsoft Flight Simulator, how you can go ahead and do that. So gonna call it a day. Have a great day.